Here's a way to automatically move files into folders based on file names. I'm going to use a utility called Hazel on the Noodlesoft website here. You can download a trial of Hazel. Hazel installs as a preference pane, so go to System Preferences. You'll see it here. Click Hazel. There it is right there. So in this example, what I want to do is take a look at file names. So here's a file, and I want to sort it into subfolders based on parts of the file name. Here's a little bit more about what I want to do exactly. So the two files that we've got on the desktop are example expenses for work. One happened in April, and the next happened in May. But we want to create folders that are specific to each month and indicate that it's for work expense. We also want to have it under another folder called text expense. So this just helps you sort everything automatically. So let's look at how to create the Hazel rule, because that's sort of the tricky part here on something like this. So we want to just name the rule, sort into test expenses folder. We need a file name that matches, and what I'm doing here is I'm using these sort of, I guess they call them custom tokens. So if I click here, I get this dialog that opens up, edit the token. So a 1 here represents a digit. So if you go back and look at my file, you'll see in the date I have 4 digits. So that's for my incoming year. That's what I'm calling it. And then you'll see here back on the file that I have a hyphen. And here I've put in anything, the anything indicator. So it'll take a hyphen, anything else. And then for the incoming month, if you look at that, that's 2 digits, right? So 04 for April, 05 for May. That's what that represents here. Again, anything after that, which would be this area here with this hyphen. And then I've got the word work expense, okay? You'll see that here as well. And then I've got another indicator for anything over in the Hazel rule. So that would cover everything after work expense, okay? So then what we want to do is we want to process these files that end up in this folder and move them into a folder called test expenses. And then we want to move them into subfolders based on the year and the word work expense. So if we click here, you'll see that. Incoming year, incoming month, work expense. Again, these are the same tokens I used earlier. So, oh yeah, you'll see once you create them up here, it lets you pick them down here. So I didn't have to make these again. Okay, so there we've got it. We've got the Hazel rule all set up. The files are already here on the desktop. Here's the test expenses folder. It doesn't have anything in it right now. All I have to do is turn, well, here, let me show you one other thing first. If I turn the rule on, I can see, for example, if the rule is going to match. So this testing tool is telling me that this rule does indeed match. So if I close this and we close out of Hazel, we should see just, there it goes. The files just automatically were moved into subfolders. So now if we open test expenses, now we have 2 folders that didn't exist before. We open that up, that folder, that file's in the right place. Go back, this file's in the right place too. So that's how you can move files into subfolders just based on the file name using Hazel.